So in this part, I'm going to be picking up where I left off. So I was talking about civil, moral, and ethical behavior, and I left off with talking about uncivil, unethical, and immoral behavior, particularly as it regards things like perceptions, actions, and behaviors. And I was getting into two very core principles, which is the harm principle, which we tend to be most concerned about when we're thinking about uncivil, unethical, and immoral behavior, but also a very, very important concept is proportionality. So is the harm that's being inflicted to the self, within the self, and other or others, proportionate to the perception, action, or behavior, as well as emotions, motivations, philosophies, reasoning, feelings, cognitions, various forms of expressions, ideologies, pathologies, or disorders that are inflicted upon the self, within the self, and other others, or the environment. And unethical, uncivil, and immoral perceptions, actions, and behaviors tend to involve things like infringements, violations, obstruction, disruptions, corrupting others, tampering with things, breaching, tampering with others, um, overbearing, overreaching. They can involve things like breaching privacy, invading somebody's privacy or invading autonomy, overreaching, overstepping, stifling somebody's autonomy. They can be um, doing things like isolating individuals. They can involve threats. They can involve obstruction. They can involve lying or deceiving, manipulating, and often again it circles back to this idea of harm, the severity of harm, the seriousness of harm and injury that's inflicted on the others, and whether or not it's proportionate in relation to the self in particular, not the id, but the self, and a healthy integration of ego and a recognition of self-subjectivity within the self, another, and others, that forms the basis for civil, uh, ethical, and moral perceptions, actions, and behaviors, and also uncivil, unethical, and immoral perception, actions, and behaviors. So it's important to be able to establish a healthy um, recognition and development of the self within the self and other and others, as well as a self awareness to be able to regulate the self in proportion to civil, ethical, moral, uncivil, unethical, and immoral processes, expressions, self expressions, and embodiments of very good degrees and gradations that involve various mind body environment